welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And welcome to another group deep dive episode.
Yeah.
I feel like now that we have
enough of these, like a
or
series.
that we have a couple of things that we do often. I feel like we need musical stings.
Yes, we need little like, you know what I mean? We need one for the random game. We need one for this. We need one for our K-pop parlor games.
Yes, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I should get my husband to whip some of those up for us. That's his job. That's literally his job, like making music for people. So you should make it for me. Anyway. Point is, it's that time again where we're going to just tell you everything you need to know about a specific group.
Jinx.
And I feel like it had been a minute since A, we'd done a boy group. And
True.
B,
we did two girl groups.
Three
Girl groups in a row.
Because Tiara, Girls' Generation, and To Anyone.
You're right.
So it's been a minute since we've done boys, and it's been a minute since we've done a group that we have any kind of emotional stake in.
Yes, absolutely. Because our first two deep dives were about our bias groups,
Right.
SHINee and EXO. And today we're going to talk about another one of our bias groups, which we've mentioned all the time.
Yeah.
And that is 2PM.
2 p.m.
The hottest part of the day.
The hottest part of my early K-pop life.
The hottest part
Definitely.
of K-pop. I mean, we're going to talk about it, but like they set the stage for all of the muscly men
That's ever come after them. Mm-hmm.
So should we just dive right into it? Let's talk about these boys.
So, as always, we'll start with some like big picture facts. So 2 p.m. debuted as a 7-member group, currently 6-member boy group from JYP Entertainment, debuted in 2008, which makes them a certified second-generation group.
Yep.
And yeah, like we just said, they are the pioneers of beast idols.
Yes. We'll talk a little bit more about this when we get to their like debut single to talk about their aesthetic. But basically, like in an era in which everyone was, all the boy groups were kind of going for this like softer, sort of pretty boy image. 2PM came out from the gate, muscles and sexy and like here to party and bone. Like that was their whole aesthetic. And because they were sort of the only ones doing this sort of vibe, they created the term beast idol group or beast idol.
Yeah.
Like that. Jim Sung Do is what I wrote down.
Jim's. Oh yeah, I believe you. I can try to look it up what it is in Korean because I feel like it was up on their Wikipedia page high.
Yes, it was. That's where I got it from, Wikipedia. But yeah, the term was created for them after their debut in 2008.
Chimsongdor. It's still written Romanized, so I don't know. But yes, okay. Beast idols. Point is, beast idols.
So let's talk about the members.
Oh, real quick, the other things we do up top, their fandom name is called The Hottest because 2 p.m. is the hottest hour of the day.
Yep.
And their fan color is metallic gray. Pretty simple. It was old days. You didn't have to fight over colors yet. And then one other interesting thing that I will bring up while we talk about the members is they also have cartoon characters of them for their Japanese promotions, and they're called Zoo PM.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
And they all have like a cartoon animal version of themselves that is on all of their Japanese merch.
Do you have written down what animals they are?
I absolutely
Okay,
do.
great.
Okay, so then we can go through the members. Oldest member.
Yeah.
June K. Jun period K. Yes, it looks like junk.
I never thought about that.
I only think about that when I see it.
I literally didn't think about that at all.
But
now I'll never unsee it.
When they debuted, he went by Junsu.
Yes, and then he changed his name.
He changed his name in 2012 when his dad died. He changed his legal name to Kim Min-jun because that was like something his dad wanted him to be called. He said it like was for his dad. And then his stage name then changed to Jun K.
Yeah.
His birthday is January 15th, 1988. Jun K Oppa, the only person in this group older than me by a little bit. And his Zoo PM character is Pan K, and he's a panda.
Okay. I wrote down that Jun K is the main vocal, and if you're like kind of like how we did with all of the other members or all the other groups we've ever done, I wrote like a physical description. And
Absolutely.
I said that Jun K has a very big face and like a big jaw. So I personally think he stands out a lot. And he is the main vocalist, so he's usually the one that's standing to the side, like, riffing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
He likes to show off his chest, too. A lot.
yeah.
He wears a lot of deep V's.
It's very broad. But yeah, I would say his features are like very, very sharp. Like, but they are very large.
Yes, all of his features are big.
Like, yeah, they just take up a lot of space on his face.
And his head is large.
And that's a thing that, like, I guess isn't cool or pretty, like, because everybody says, like, oh, you have such a small face.
It's not an ideal.
And on We Got Married, Victoria said that he was handsome, and he said, nobody's ever said I was handsome before, which I think is just crazy because they're all good looking. There are no uggos in 2 p.m. Like, it's just a fact.
And I'm sure that, like, I mean, you don't get to be an idol with, like, everyone thinks that you're ugly. So I'm sure that that's not true. But he latched onto it, especially because, like, I would say that although all of the members are very good looking, some of the members are like so stupidly good looking that you're
totally.
like, well, I'm a paper sack next to you because you are stuck.
Yeah, but in another group, he might be the hottest member.
Yeah, maybe, but not in this one.
But some fun facts about Jun K. He's one of JYP Entertainment's main composers.
Yes, he has composed the most songs, second only to JYP himself.
Yeah, like for other groups and everybody. He also has a pretty I wouldn't say popular solo career, but he's put out a lot of albums. And he's like a musical boy. He does musicals and stuff.
He has a really big solo career, especially in Japan. And his Japanese solo stuff has done very well.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I just feel like he always gets a lot of flack when he puts out Korean albums because people are just like, who cares? I don't know. I feel bad for him. But anyway, he's the oldest member.
He's the oldest one. Next up is Nikun.
And Nikun's official position in the group is visual. He also gets singer and rapper, but
they attach that to his name, but he's a face.
His birth name is Nikun Buk Horvakchul because he's from Thailand.
Yes. He's actually from Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah, he went to high school in Rancho Cucamonga. So funny.
So he's from California, and then he moved to Thailand and like grew up there.
His birthday is tomorrow.
Happy early
and
birthday.
And he will be 31 years old.
Old man.
Or his birthday is June 24th, but today it's June 23rd when we're recording this. So it'll be his 31st birthday tomorrow. And his Zoo PM character is Koala-kun, who is a koala.
Oh, he does look kind of like a koala.
I feel like visual-wise, like the most striking features about Nikun are his eyebrows and his ears.
That's what I wrote down. I wrote big eyebrows and slim, boyish face.
Yeah.
Because I think he has like a sort of mischievous, young
it's like
grin.
his face gets very small at the bottom. Like he has a little...
And he, because he's Thai, like has very, I think, the shape of his eyes are very different than everybody else in the group. They're more like, they're rounder.
He almost always has the worst hair.
Yeah, he has really bad hair, and he loves a terrible pair of jorts.
Oh, yes. He loves
really
jorts and boat shoes.
He has bad fashion sense because he's just some dumb butt from Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah.
But he's very handsome. And fun fact, he was scouted by... He's the only member of 2PM that was scouted and that did an audition. And he was scouted at the Korean Music Festival.
I saw that and I couldn't believe it.
I know. What a coincidence. That's the music festival we always go to. But yeah, so he was just there, like in the audience.
One of his other like nicknames is Thai Prince because he comes from a very, very wealthy family, and his mom is like a professor or something, like fancy. And
because he's Thai, he does not have to enlist in the Korean military. He's the only member that doesn't. Well, he's not the only member that doesn't have to, but we'll get to that. So he doesn't have to go to the army. So like he's not currently in the army right now. And he's done a bunch of like solo stuff. He started acting in 2012. He did like a ton of Chinese movies and TV shows. And he also did like a fan meet tour. And in 2018, last year, he released a little mini album called Me, which I did not listen to, so I cannot comment on it.
Yeah, and you unfollowed him on Instagram.
Yeah, I did because he was annoying me on his fan meets because he was just like farting around like all over the world and posting these, and he had like terrible facial hair, and he was just like looked like a beach bum, and he wasn't with 2PM. I just got bitter. I just got upset. I was like, you know what? If you're not with 2PM, I don't want to hear from you.
Golfing.
Yeah, he was just like being a butt. I don't know.
Okay. Next in line is Taecyeon. He's the rapper, the main rapper of 2PM. His real name is Ok Taecyeon, which I've always read as okay because it's just okay and like okay Taecyeon. I know that's not his name, but like that's how I always see it. His birthday is December 27th, 1988. And then before we get to his Zoo PM character actually started the whole thing. It's called Oak Cat, and it's like a green cat. And he actually like registered it as a character like back in 2012 and like had a whole brand based around it. It's very interesting. He's he's enormous.
Yeah, he's huge. I wrote that arguably he's the most handsome, if only because he has like a very drama face, not in the sense that he'd be the drama lead, but he's like a drama villain. Ooh. He has very sharp jaw, very sharp cheekbones, and he has just like a bitchy look in his eyes. Like I think Taecyeon always has resting bitch face, and when I was first getting to know 2PM, I didn't really like him at first because he seemed like a jerk.
I thought he was a jerk because of his We Got Married International season. He seemed like a jerk.
Oh yeah, but I didn't watch that.
He's extremely, terribly beloved.
Yes, he's incredibly popular. So he was born in Seoul and then he was raised in Bedford, Massachusetts. So he was like a dual citizen and didn't have to enlist in the military, but decided to anyway. He like gave up his U.S. residency, permanent residency visa, and like registered as a full Korean citizen and enlisted in the military.
And I believe he also had like some kind of back operation, like so that he could serve properly. Like he did things so that he could be a good soldier. Yeah. And people love him for
He's
it.
also highly educated. He has both a bachelor's and a master's degree. And he released a solo album with some of the university students that he like went to school with. And all of the proceeds from that album went back to the university.
Yeah, he's just a goddamn hero.
People love him.
But yeah, I don't know. If you're trying to pick him out of the lineup, he's taller than every member. He has like dimples and like, I guess arguably the most handsome face. Also, his hair was usually tall. Yeah. I feel like his head like calls for a tall hair situation. But yeah, he's also like a very, very popular actor. Yeah. He just got out of the military very recently.
And we mentioned the song all the time, My Ears Candy. Like he's the original voice on that song. And yeah, he's released a Japanese album. He composed Promise, I'll Be.
Oh yeah.
Which is one of 2PM's songs.
We'll get there.
Next up.
Next in line is Woo Young. He's credited as the main dancer, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, main dancer and lead vocal is what I saw his member profile.
His birth name is Jung Woo Young, so that is his name, not a stage name. His birthday is April 30th, 89. And his Zoo PM character's name is Pyong, and it's like a little duckling. I don't know. It's like a little yellow bird with sunglasses.
Cute.
It's very cute. I don't know. I was trying very hard to figure out how to describe Woo Young, and I just wrote like my pretty boy. Like, I don't know. There's nothing about him that it's like, yeah, the one like that.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything in his... I agree. I struggled to describe him as well. I wrote that his hair is usually short on the sides and long on top. He also was like the first of any idol I cared about to have a mullet that I was like, ugh, why? It was like a mullet and a mohawk. Yeah, and it lasted for a very long time. Yeah. But I wrote just like square jaw and small. Like, he just looks small in comparison to everybody else.
He's the second shortest.
Yeah, and he has a small face.
There's something about his lip corners, too, that I couldn't quite place.
He has, like, a very distinctive mouth, almost like he always has something to say. You know what I mean? He's, like holding his mouth like he's about to say something. And I also wrote that his smile lights up the world.
Yes. I love him. I love my Woo Young. He's from Busan, which like makes him manly. Tough and manly, according.
Busan man.
And yeah, he has put out a couple of solo albums. He wrote a lot of music for them.
He was the first of the 2PM members to go solo.
With Sexy Lady?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh boy. Okay, we'll move on. Next is Juno. He's the main vocal.
Yes, he's also credited as a lead dancer.
Oh, cool. Birth name, Lee Juno. His birthday is January 25th, 1990.
Oh, Christmas birthday. Oh, January. Never mind.
Oh.
I was like, Christmas birthday. That sucks.
And his Zoo PM character is King Pang Pang, and he's a penguin.
Aw, cute.
I don't know. For visuals, I wrote actual hottest because I think Juno is the actual hottest member.
So that's totally fair. And I can I would take that argument and accept it and even agree with it on some days. But I was reading today that Juno often gets accused of getting plastic surgery because he looks so much like Rain. And I had never noticed the resemblance between him and Rain. And now I can't unsee it. It's the same. They have the same
similar.
face. And I had never noticed it before. So if you are looking at them, he's the one that looks like Rain. He's very handsome and he has like a rounder jaw than the rest. But
he's very handsome.
He is Rain's face.
He's the smallest one. And very squinty eyes, smile. He's so pretty.
He's very pretty. Fun fact, while he was a trainee, he almost got kicked out of JYP for having a bad attitude.
I read that too.
And it wasn't until his mom called and talked to JYP and begged him to give Juno another chance that he didn't get kicked out.
Wow.
I know. He's done lots of solo Japanese albums. He's been like acting since 2013.
Yeah, if you're like a drama watcher, you might have love for him. He did a movie called 20 that I really like.
Yeah. And he took his sweet ass time going to the military.
Yeah, god damn, he did.
All 2PM members, if we haven't already said this, all 2PM members, with the exception of Nikun and Tech, are currently in the military.
Yes, so, fucking finally.
2PM is on hiatus.
Took you long enough. Okay, next, final maknae.
Final current member.
Chansung. Maknae and rapper. His real name is Wang Chansung. His birthday is February 11th, 1990. So he's barely the maknae, like 2 weeks.
Yeah, barely.
Which I thought was surprising. I always assumed he was like years younger than all of them because he's very maknae. His Zoo PM character is called Chanana, and it's a banana that has a cat on its head, and it has abs. So,
why?
I don't know. Because it's funny.
Oh, it is funny.
For visuals, a thing I've always said about Chansung is that he looks like a Simpsons character because of the way that his top lip rests. It's the same way that like Simpsons mouths are drawn. So that's what I always think when I look at him.
Yeah, he has a long nose, a very, very long nose and a long upper lip. So he has the exact Simpsons mouth.
And he never wore a shirt from debut. Never a
shirtless,
shirt on.
And often they give him terrible ponytails. I don't know why they loved to give him shitty ponytails, but they've done it like throughout their careers. He is also, fun fact, 3rd degree black belt.
Oh, cool.
And in 2012, he and his personal trainer opened a fitness center.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gym owner.
And he's been acting since before they debuted. So he is a very popular actor as well, and very recently enlisted in the military.
Too recently. I'm gonna keep harping on this. I'm never gonna get over it. Okay.
I mean, the fact that Tech is already out of the
That's
military.
why I'm so
and
mad.
They just went in. It's like, come.
You had so much time.
The timing.
Okay.
Flames on the side of my face.
Okay. Last profile to cover is the former leader of 2PM, who when they debuted was called J-Bum. But this is J Park.
Yeah. We've talked about J Park, and we talked more, like a little bit in depth about his departure from JYP and 2PM in our solo artists episode, because J Park is currently a solo artist that has like a pretty good career.
And I'll touch on it in the timeline. But he was the original leader at the oldest. His birthday is April 25th, 1987. So he was like the full oldest. And he also, I read that like when they showed their little pre-debut documentary, that everybody thought he was the most handsome.
Yeah.
He was like the most popular.
He was voted the most popular. He was voted like the most talented, and like the group also agreed with him being the leader because they all agreed like he's the one who's the best at everything.
Yeah.
Which I find interesting. I definitely don't think he's the most handsome one. He was the tallest, I think. He has a very like long face, and he's currently covered in tattoos. I don't know.
Yeah. If you look at him in the old 2PM stuff, he like had shaved side of his head and was in the middle a lot. But like when he left the group, then he became like he has full full bot, his covered in tattoos.
Yeah.
So that's what. And if you've ever seen the Charlie XCX Boys music video, he is in like a pool of little balls in that music video.
Yeah, he's in that. He's the guy with all the tattoos.
With all the tattoos. Okay, so that's members.
So those are the members. So pre-debut, 2PM starred in a documentary series or documentary film called Hot Blooded Men. And they were trainees. During this documentary, 3 of the trainees were eliminated. And
one of whom was like a highlight member, I saw.
Oh, okay. I didn't look into the guys that got eliminated. But throughout this documentary, 3 people get eliminated, and then they get boiled down into this 11-member group called One Day. And then after the documentary, they were split up into a hip-hop group, which was 2PM, and a ballad group, which is 2AM. And then they debut 2008 with their song 10 out of 10.
So yeah, 10. It's like the chorus is like your lips are 10 points out of 10. Like your kiss is 10 points out of 10. Like,
it's basically just like they see a hot girl and like, oh, she's a 10, and so they're just like complimenting her. And the music video is so ridiculous. It's basically like all of the boys work at a hotel, and this like hot busty,
way
lady
too
walks
hot
by.
older lady.
Yeah, and they just like as soon as she walks by, it like turns into like whatever fantasy like pops into their heads. And Woo Young is like licking whipped cream off of her finger, and they're like shirtless, and he's not shirtless, but like other boys are shirtless in the pool.
And then Nick-kun comes into her room and she's in the shower.
Yes, it's so ridiculous. It's so over the top.
But yeah, this was a big song. People liked it.
People really liked it. It came from a mini album called Hottest Time of the Day. If you're wondering if 2PM is ever not going to make a pun about their name, it's rare. it's rare. And they also, the other lead single off of this mini album was called Only You.
Yeah. The next thing I have is in April of 2009. They put out another mini album called 2PM, Time for a Change. So yes, there's another time thing. And there were 2 singles released from this one, but the main one was called Again and Again. I feel like it's very interesting how many 2PM music videos are about them like losing girls to each other, and they're like always in suits and hallways and like looking distraught, like in so many of their music videos. So this is one of those.
Their music videos are very angsty. Jay Park is in this one. He's in the middle. The outfits are terrible. The dancing outfits, the outfits they're wearing in the like dance part of it with those, it's like purple and black leather.
Yeah, like weird
horrible
patches.
It's
horrible.
The
stage costumes were similar.
Yeah, the stage costumes were bad too.
I also pulled another track that was from this album that was called I Hate You. The music video is just behind the scenes footage of them like,
oh, it's them filming
again and again and like doing all their flips and falling down.
So that's I Hate You. It got first place on M Countdown and Music Bank. And yeah, they were doing well.
And then on September 4th, 2009, which was their 1-year anniversary. So, like, this is so malicious and terrible. But, like, an anti-fan, I'm assuming, because who else would do such a thing, hacked into Jay's old MySpace page that he had from, like, trainee days, and basically just like found some like little kid diary entries. So like, I hate Korea, I want to go home. And they were just like maliciously, like carefully edited and leaked to the media. And there was like mass hysteria of like, get rid of this like he hates this country, get rid of him. Because did we say like Jay's from America?
I don't know if we did.
I don't know if we did,
American.
but he is.
And anyway, yeah, just sort of like tanked his reputation. He went from being this like very, very popular member and like leader of this group to being basically hated by the entire country. And so he left Korea and went back to the States to just be like, well, I don't know, like take a break.
Yeah, it was supposed to just be a temporary break. So a month later, they released another album on November 10th, their first full album that's called 01:59 p.m., 1 minute before 2 p.m.
Yes.
And apparently they did like a cool teaser campaign for it where like the JYP website had a clock that started at like 70 hours and like people thought it was going to count all the way down to 0, but it stopped at like a minute 59 or an hour 59, and then they put out a teaser music video. So it like took everyone by surprise.
Fun.
And people were excited. But the single from this one was called Heartbeat.
And we got to watch this performance when we watched that
2009 thing, like very, very recently. Unfortunately, the ponytails are in the music video as well.
I know, they're so bad.
And was that must have been hastily and terribly refilmed, right?
Yes. So Heartbeat was in the whole album 1:59 p.m. has Jay Park in it. And they originally filmed a music video for Heartbeat with him. And then they promoted without Jay Park, and then refilmed the Heartbeat music video without him as
he's
well.
also not on the cover. The cover has like all of their faces in the like letters, and he's not in it.
But his voice is still included in all of the tracks, and the group decided that even though he wasn't participating in the promotion, he was still a part of the group and a part of that album. So they split all the profits of that album equally with him and were like saving him a place.
Oh, that's sad and sweet.
I know. It is sad and sweet because then at the Mamas of 2009, they won Best Male Group and Artist of the Year, and they performed again and again, and Heartbeat. I think they did both of those. And they like held a place for Jay Park. They put like a spotlight on like where he was supposed to be and like kept his vocals in it. And yeah, so they were like, well, he's still going to come back. He's going to come back. And then Heartbeat went to number 1 on Music Rank. It got the Triple Crown on Inkigayo. Again and again won Song of the Year at KBS. So they were like doing great with his first full album.
Yes, but then in February of 2010, Jay Park officially will not be rejoining 2PM. Like that's that. All they say that, you know, all the members agreed, like everybody, it was amicable, like let it go. But it was very sad. I read that like tons of fan sites closed and people were just like not sure what was going to happen to 2PM. I was reading a weird fan account on Twitter the other day of somebody like remembering what that was like back then, being like, because apparently, I mean, it was long enough ago that the like translators were fewer and the places that like international K-pop fans could get news were much fewer. So people didn't really understand what was going on. And they just like felt very like betrayed and lost. And that it was like a bad time.
Yeah, of course.
It sucks when groups lose members. Like, I mean, we talked all summer about it happening to Pentagon. Like when somebody gets like pulled for a reason like this, it just damages things for a little bit.
And it's really a shame. I mean, like it's strange talking about it now because, I mean, it happened so early in their career and it happened before I was a fan of 2PM or even of K-pop. Right. So, like, I feel like I always loved 2PM without Jay Park in it. But these circumstances were so out of his control and out of 2PM. So it was like none of them wanted him to leave. He just like happened, like this terrible thing happened.
People were just so mad.
Yeah, this shitty thing happened and he like couldn't come back. And now he does have like a good career or whatever. And like 2PM is great. Arguably, their music after him is much better. But that's not necessarily his fault. It's just perhaps a coincidence.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
But that's what happened in early 2010.
Yeah. And so he was the leader and they decided as a group, they like voted to not replace him as a leader because they just decided like we're in this together and we'll just be equal partners in it. So they are one of the only K-pop groups that doesn't have a leader.
Yeah. So speaking of their music, before we move in further into their discography, you were saying a few minutes ago that the TV show said that they were a hip hop group.
Yes.
I would disagree with that.
I completely disagree with that categorization. I do not think that they make hip hop music. They have rappers, as all K-pop groups do, but they're definitely not making hip hop.
No. It's not hip hop. I definitely have always like thought of it more as like a club dance kind of music.
Yeah.
I guess there's like a hard edge to it, or at least JYP wanted to like show that at the beginning. Like I think we've talked about before, like they did a lot of acrobatics when they debuted. Like, look at these crazy
Flips.
tough like b-boy stuff, but the music wasn't that.
No, the music is very club and techno. And when J Park was their leader, they had a lot of auto-tune in their music.
But that early auto-tune that wasn't quite.
It wasn't.
T-Pain had not perfected it yet.
Yeah, and it like hits your ears in a sort of discordant way. And arguably, like I don't like their early music. I think it's pretty bad. There is like a turning point for me in 2PM's discography, which to be totally honest, we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah. But I just, we'd played a couple clips and hadn't really talked about it yet. Like, I guess like there was kind of like an electro, like dance.
Yeah, they're more
thing.
like EDM or like club house, I guess, but angsty. Like they have a lot of angst in their songs. They're like dancing their feelings.
Yeah, they're either like drunk at a party or crying about a girl in the street, like watching her from a window and being like, no.
And a lot of their early choreography, like they've always been a group that has like intricate choreography, or not necessarily intricate, but they've always had a heavy dance emphasis, I would say, to their group. But I also have to say that like their early choreography, like Again and Again, Heartbeat, like it is cheesy.
Yeah.
Cheesy choreography.
Definitely.
That running move in Again and Again, it drives me nuts. And they do it. I wrote it down. I'll bring it back up when it comes back. But dear Lord. Anyway,
2010.
J Park leaves. The music starts to get better.
So mini album. It's called Don't Stop, Can't Stop. They released, it looked like a couple of singles from this one, but the most important one was Without You.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is very angsty. Rain, fully like wet and tank top.
Yeah, just like drenched, soaked in the rain in a like dark alley. It might as well be in black and white. There's like only one set, and that is them in the rain, in like different slutty black t-shirts and tank tops that are like low V's and ripped.
And they're all so broad. It's like really, really crazy.
It's just muscles galore. And I just as we were watching that music video just now, I was like, thank God for 2PM, because without them, there's so much of K-pop that I love so much that
just wouldn't
exist. It just wouldn't be. Like, of course, I love SHINee, and SHINee is my ultimate. And they came out the same year that 2PM did. But 2PM brings a complete opposite side of the spectrum to my K-pop, and it's a very important piece of it. 2PM, they are there for me to objectify, and that is a purpose I can get behind.
Right. Yeah, and I totally agree. And it's also just very interesting. I mean, we could talk about this at any point, but it's just like so interesting how they're all jockey. Like, I feel like in a current example of like a Monsta X, for example, where you have quite a few very buff members, but you also have Hyungwon. Like, he's just a skinny and he will always be a skinny, and like that's not going to change. But like every member of 2PM is buff. And there was like, I can't even remember what it was, but at some point today I was watching one of the music videos that's just them at a photo shoot. And they look like Abercrombie models in their little tight, their little tight t-shirts. And they were all so buff.
They're
it's really
insane.
crazy.
And like all of them have been on the cover of Men's Health pretty much. And they're just like unbelievably ripped. I always remember on every time I see a new Men's Health cover with like a new idol on it, I always think of this episode of We Got Married where Woo Young and his wife Seong like go swimming, and he takes his shirt off and gets in the pool, and the camera cuts back to her and her face looks like he just slapped her in the face. She like can't even believe it, and it cuts to a talking head and she just goes, "Photos are real."
Yeah. They were so beastie.
So beastly.
So I do feel like Without You, point is, I feel like Without You is a moment in that their first couple singles were like, we are shiny acrobat boys.
Yeah.
And like this time they're just like, here are our muscles in the rain.
Yes, because they used to wear these like suit, like all of their previous music videos and previous lead singles, like 10 out of 10 and Again, and Heartbeat, they all have these like horrible like, leather costumes with like hair and pants and like shiny and like lots of layers and stupid gloves and like crazy dumb ponytails and weird haircuts. And then they have it Without You, which is just them in black t-shirts in the rain and their muscles, and they look phenomenal.
Yeah. How'd this song do? Did people care? Do you have any info about that?
I didn't write it down.
But we can assume it wasn't a flap.
No, we can assume it wasn't a flap. They went on to then open for the Wonder Girls for 9 shows of their U.S. tour.
Which we talked about 2 weeks ago.
Yes, we did. And they also that year performed at the Korean Music Festival in Los Angeles and at the Dream Concert in Seoul. Just a fun fact, I suppose. We decided not to play a clip of this song because it's horrible. But just like fun fact, in May, 2PM released a song called What's Your Celebration, which was for the FIFA World Cup. It's awful. And it's not on any of their albums. So moving on.
Yeah, next thing I have is that the summer of 2010, they did their first concert for just them. It was called Don't Stop, Can't Stop.
Yeah.
2 a.m. and Miss A opened, participated. So it sounds like it was a little bit of a JYP family show, but you know, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then October, music release time, 4th EP, still 2 p.m. I feel like it's so hard to keep track of these. They all have the same title.
The same name. It's really stupid. But whatever.
But the lead single for Still 2 p.m. was called I'll Be Back.
I'll be back. 난 다시 나를 찾을 거야. 그때 다시 내가 올 거야. 그 누구도 너를.
So I feel like the choreo to this is iconic, but only to me. And I really want to try to not only talk about We Got Married today. We'll get into it later. But this is what they were promoting at the beginning of the like Kuntoria season. So like she did this choreo, and there's like a reach back like butt move that she was very good at.
Yeah,
and then they
like
just
slide
shuffle
back. They do that fucking Running Man move again that they did again and again. They do it, and here they're doing it again. This is a new-ish look for them in one sense. Their outfits, I would say, are very similar to some of their like early stuff, but for the first time, they're wearing really heavy makeup.
So much makeup.
Crazy smoky eyes. Chansung's eyeshadow is like polka dotted. It's like gray with like black spots. It's so bananas.
It doesn't look purposeful though. It like looks like he had black eyeshadow on and then he like rubbed his eyes.
Yeah, it looks crazy. And then at one point in one of their outfits, who is it? Junkei has these like
War
crazy black, but yeah, like what football players put on their cheeks, except that it's like all the way down his face. It's really bananas.
But yeah, they also have like headbands.
Yes, I really like Nikkun's headband.
Yeah.
I know it's really silly, and his hair is like he looks like perhaps what is it? Digimon? No.
Oh, Digimon. Yeah, the
Yeah,
main
right?
kid or Yu-Gi-Oh? No.
One of the kids, one of
kids,
those
one of those anime kids had
like a helmet with or a headband with like the spiky
spiking
hair.
out of it.
And he has like the high collar, like Capital City, like Hunger Games style jacket. And I just think
Oh my
he
god, the
looks-
outfits are so Hunger Games.
Yes. And I just think Nick Kuhn looks fucking great in that music video, despite what I just said about their crazy makeup. He looks great.
Yeah, it's like
he's
I
the
don't know.
visual.
Yeah, it's like it's silly, but it works somehow. I don't
Yeah,
know how, but
I-
it like does.
I don't know why it works. I literally wrote down, like, the only thing I wrote down aside from this makeup and that Running Man dance, I wrote, they're just the cheesiest, and I love it. Like,
Yeah.
they are so cheesy, but this is the point in their career where I would say I was, once I, like,
Found
them. I like the music that comes out of 2010, but it's not good music in the way that I would describe their later discography.
Oh,
but
totally.
I like this shit.
Totally.
This is definitely a point, and this is the turning point in their career, I think, where they use less auto-tune.
Yeah.
Without You has like a lot of good harmonies and is like a little bit letting them flex their vocal muscles, because there are very good singers in 2PM, and I feel like they don't get the credit
Totally.
for being the quality vocalists that they are.
I will say, because I was going to say it in the last song, but I remembered its peak at this, the like cheese factor. Mm-hmm. It's at the end of the music video, but when they were performing it on music shows, they did it at the beginning. They do this like little acrobatic like routine that involves all of them, and it like looks like bad like elementary school like swing dancing, like level 1 stage fight. I don't know, everything about it is
throw each
weird.
other around, and they like leap through each other's arms, and it's just the cheesiest fucking thing. They are so cheesy.
And the choreo to this is cheesy, and the choreo to the last one we didn't talk about it, but they do like
the choreo
"Gonna
for
be
Without You
okay,
is so silly.
okay,"
They just like shrug
and then do it
and
okay.
like do a little okay symbol, and flex their muscles in the rain. But then after this song came out, I'll Be Back, they won the most popular Asian singer award at the Mandarin Music Honors in China, and it is the first time that a South Korean artist has ever won that award.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
So
very
congrats.
neat. So to capitalize on this international success that they now have, they debuted in Japan at the very end of 2010. As we always do in this episode, we're not going to talk about their in these kinds of episodes. We're not going to talk about their Japanese stuff, but just know that's when it started, and that they are incredibly popular in Japan.
So popular in Japan. I mean, we've already talked about their whole like Zoo PM characters, but they also like they have their Japanese debut and their tour, which takes them into 2011. And one of their songs called "Take Off," they actually use it as the ending credit song for this anime called Blue Exorcist, which I don't know anything about the show, but I do know it was very popular from students of mine that I've had. So I assume it's a very popular show because I've heard of it.
Yeah,
And I don't know
anything.
anything about that stuff. So then in 2011, they come out with Hands Up in June.
Everyone put your hands up and get your drinks up. 온 세상이 함께 미쳐.
And this is their second full album. We've played this song on the show before when we got them for the random game, because it is still to this day their most popular music video.
Just boggles my mind.
And as we described last time, this music video is like they're in a club and they're wearing light up jackets.
Yeah, it's really awful. But their faces are so beautiful.
Yes, no, they all look like dewy and gorgeous, and they're
look
lit.
so
They're
pretty.
lit the
They're
best
lit
than they've been in any previous music video.
This is the first time that they're like really capital. It's like not just about their muscles. Now we're zooming into their faces and we're lighting them with that pretty makeup lighting, and we're just like finally noticing like, hey, wow, he's beautiful.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
say that about them all.
About every single one.
Every single one of them. Nick Kuhn is tremendous in that music video. His face is perfect.
I mean, how can you argue with that?
Yeah, you can't. This album, Hands Up, also had 2 songs by the members. So they're like starting to, like we mentioned that Jun K is one of the most like prolific composers at JYP. And so the members of 2PM, like as they go throughout their career, start playing more and more of a hand in how much of their own music they write. And that starts here in 2011 with Hot, which is by June K, and Give It To Me, which is by Jun Ho.
Oh, wow. There you go. And then what I have on the timeline next is like from 2011 till June 2013, they just back-to-back tours.
Yeah, they do a Hands Up Asia tour, which is like in a couple different countries. And then they tour Japan for a really long time.
Yeah, and then a What Time Is It Asia tour as well. And then also a thing I haven't like mentioned yet, and I figured I might bring it up later, but also in all of this time, like 2PM is on TV constantly.
Yes, all the time.
A thing that I feel like is weird is that I feel like 2PM is from this very specific time in the second generation where it just seemed like there weren't as many groups, and the groups that were around were always around and always together. There were so many different variety shows that would have 4 or 5 idol groups as a whole on every episode, or like Kun and Woo Young were on a show that was like where people would come show their talents, and it had like a cast of like 25 idols.
Yeah.
So like when I first was getting into K-pop around this time, I feel like as far as I knew, there were only 3 boy groups, SHINee, Big Bang, and 2PM, because they were everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. They're on Running Man, and they host like all of the members have hosted different things at one point or another. They've had their own shows, and they also are on all of those like crazy shows that have what were some of those called?
Star Golden Bell and Strong Heart.
Yes, Strong Heart. That's the one I was thinking of. And like those shows where like the audience asks for advice. They were just on TV all the time.
They were just on TV all the time.
All the time.
So even though it feels like I just skipped 2 whole years, like I promise they weren't putting out new music, but they were so busy.
Oh yeah, they had a show like 2011. They had a show called the 2PM Show. They also, like we said, they went on tour to a whole bunch of different places. They released a documentary film called Beyond the One Day with 2AM. Like they were busy and around.
So then the next time, this I feel like is interesting. It's from here on out, there are like no more mini albums, no more EPs. Like 2PM is just releasing full studio albums. So the third one, this is a beautiful moment in time. This album was called Grown.
And boy, was it.
GROWN, just not OAN.
Oh, sure. I was like, how else do you spell grown? But yes. Grown as in like grown up.
Yes. And I feel like because of this album cover, because of everything that goes with it, like the word grown, like that's what it means.
That's what
to
it
me.
means.
When I say things like 17 is acting too grown, like this is what I'm talking about this.
Yes.
This is my reference
shirtless
point.
Abs album cover.
The cover of this, they're all like naked.
They're
it's
all
crazy.
shirtless. And I think Nikun is wearing a stupid hat because that was like his thing in his comeback. He was wearing a dumb hat. Yes.
Okay, so there are 2 singles that were promoted off of this one. One of them was ADTOY, which, if you've listened to one of these before, we always save a music video to the end to watch.
Yeah.
And since we already got them in the random game, we're choosing what video we want to watch this time.
And we are choosing the video for ADTOY. So we're not going to play a clip of that song right now. And I will just like shout out, if you have been listening to us from the beginning or have heard of all of our episodes, we talk about this music video in our music video episode because it is the sexiest music video
still to this day
of all time.
And I still think the choreo is one of the sexiest choreos ever made. Like EXO can roll their pelvises all they want. Like there is something about the choreography
to this.
Oh my God.
Fucking song, because it's laid back.
It's so
a chair
casual.
dance. It's so casual. Just literally them slumping in their chairs, snapping and putting their feet like very slowly. It's such a small movement, but fuck, it's so sexy. It's so...
And the little pant
Yes, the
pull.
little pant pull. And then they turn around and they just shake their little
Just
butts.
a little bit, though.
Just a little bit. I wrote good choreo, good dance practice, excellent all around. This is 2PM, baby.
Yes, absolutely.
Put your hands up.
But so that there's something to play and talk over right now, the other song that they released along with this is one of my favorites. It's just like it's a little cheesy, but it's like very standard cheesy 2 p.m. I love it. It's called Come Back When You Hear This Song, which is like a romantic title in itself.
Yeah.
Give me one more chance. 이 노래 듣고 돌아와. 이 노래 듣고 돌아와. 이 노래 듣고 돌아와. 어디에 있든 누구와 있든 잘못했으니 돌아와.
Yeah, I love this video because I feel like of all of the videos we watched so far, it's the one that has the most cohesive story, quote unquote.
Okay,
like
fair.
they're all representing a 7 deadly sin. Like they've
Yeah.
all lost their girl because of greed or sloth or
One of them.
whatever. And then otherwise they're on a roof and there's like big speakers
Yeah.
and they're
like,
dancing,
big
like,
lights.
come back when you hear the song.
Yeah. And I would say, like, this album is, first of all, 10 out of the 12 songs are written by the members. So it's like the first thing they're putting out that is really them.
This is 2 p.m.,
This
yeah.
is 2 p.m. This is 2 p.m., baby. And they've moved away from the tech, not the techno. They've moved away from the auto-tune.
Yes.
They're just like riffing. They have great harmonies. Like I said, 2 p.m. does not get enough credit for their vocal strengths. And they're making more, like, they still have that angst, but it's almost more like, it was like club R&B. Like, I don't know how to just, it still
something
has that
about
club beat to
it's
it.
that beat.
but-
I feel like we talked about this when we did Battle of the Beautiful, where I feel like a tendency of 2 p.m. music seemed to be that they have a good song and then they just throw up
Yes.
under it.
Yeah.
The way that I feel like in the early 2000s, people would make club mixes of like ballads.
Yeah.
And they got played to death on the radio. And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of 2 p.m. music from
Club
this time
mix
has
ballads.
that. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, grown.
That's grown. I think that's all I have to say about it. Except that while we were just watching that little clip, all I could think was, I miss you every day.
I know.
God damn it, 2
It
p.m.
like feels these two music videos feel very special because this was the newest 2 p.m. thing there was when I got into K-pop and
Yes.
discovered like 2 p.m. is, we'll get to it. We'll get to what 2 p.m. means to us. But this comeback feels special because this is when I'm on board finally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this is the year that I start listening to K-pop, and one of the things that like really got me immersed into K-pop was watching We Got Married,
Right.
specifically Kuntoria, like Nick Kun's season, and so like this was the music that was out of theirs at the time. So like this is the turning point of their career for us.
For as far
where
as we're
like,
concerned.
now we're paying attention.
yeah, and I feel like I liked it better because I found this and was like, ooh, I love 2 p.m. And then I went
Yeah.
back and was like, ooh, maybe I don't.
Yeah,
But
then
from now on, I promise, I feel like it's all good from now on.
Oh, they just get better. Literally every single album from here on out just is better than the last. Let's talk about the next one. They had their comeback was supposed to be at the end of 2013. It gets delayed. They come out with their 4th studio album called Go Crazy in September of 2014.
소리에 숨소리는 거칠어져가 미친 거 아니야 오늘 밤 미치려고 작정한 놈들이야 오늘만 미치도록 달리잔 말이야
I have too many feelings about this comeback.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great.
It was phenomenal. This is a fantastic album.
The album is perfect.
It is the first. So this comeback, I was like present in the K-pop world. I was looking forward to this comeback. This is the first full K-pop album I ever bought, and it's fantastic. Go Crazy is such a good album. That song is fantastic. The music video is great. Woo Young is so beautiful in it. Even though he has a mohawk mullet, it's still, he looks so good.
He looks super good.
With that crazy blue glittery jumpsuit. and those big sunglasses.
And when they were
looks
promoting it on
so
stages,
great.
he had a pink short version that was also sequins, like a sequin jumpsuit, but it was shorts. Yeah, the styling for this was like super weird because they were going crazy. And in the video, Kuhn's hair is like all piled on one side in a very odd way.
It's like a weird like victory roll.
But another reason why this is important, at least important to like our weird interests, this comeback was the first time I learned about boy wigs. Because in the album jacket, Juno has like beautiful lavender hair. It's like perfect lavender hair. And it's so gorgeous. But then in the music video, he just has blonde hair and like that's what the hair that he had. But they did like a music bank stage or something and he had the perfect lavender hair. And I was like, oh, that's so weird. Is it like spray on or whatever? And then I was watching an episode of Real 2 p.m., which was their like, 8 to 15 minute YouTube show. GOT7 has one too. And he was talking in the music, like in the waiting room, and the wig was on a head in the background. And I was like, what? Boy wigs? And then my mind exploded. And that's why I've become so obsessed with the concept of them ever since.
I love that.
Because, yeah.
K-pop boys wear more wigs than you think.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, Go Crazy is great. We'll recommend some B-sides from it in a little while.
This music video hit more than 1 million views in the first 24 hours.
Which
People
at the time was a
loved it.
big deal.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if you don't hit 50 mil in the first 24 hours, then you're slacking. But at the time, it meant something to get 1 million.
2014 and 2 p.m. was a big fucking deal.
Okay.
So next.
I remember when it came out. Okay. Yeah, then a whole, like, basically a year goes by.
Yeah.
June 2015. Because, again, they're grown. They all have, like, important solo careers. This is the moment that I feel like happens that we get to whenever we do these episodes. Like, the last couple, it's like they're really spread out because everybody has gotten
just
famous
like
on their own.
Everybody's famous
or
on
Girls'
their
Generation.
own.
Like
we said, from the beginning, 2 p.m. has always been on TV, like, as individual members and as a group together. So their last couple years, they just released like one album a year and then we're busy doing other things.
Yeah. So in 2015, it was their 5th album. It's called Number 5. And the lead single was called My House. Baby.
One more time.
It's a good English lesson. I go, you go, we go. Baby. So the concept of this one, the album itself, like looked like a doorknob with a little keypad. And I also remember
we talked about the packaging of this album.
Yes, on the album episode because people say that it's cheapy.
Yeah.
But I remember also when this came out, they did a little side promotion where all of 2 p.m. like gave tours of their house. Because at this point they were all living in big old $1 million apartments by themselves.
Yes, JYP pays, baby.
But the music video itself is kind of lovely. The color scheme reminds me so much of the like ballroom scene in Twice As What Is Love music video. Like now that I just think about it, but there's like a girl in a princess dress and they're in like a big mansion.
And each one of them is sort of, but like loosely a fairy tale of some kind.
Like they're princey.
Like Woo Young is trying to get her to bite an apple and like one of them, and like I think she leaves her shoe on the stairs when she's walking toward Kun, and like Tech is a wolf or whatever. They're all like vaguely
it's fantasy
a fairy tale. This was the music video. Juno has really pretty like pinky red hair in it, and this was the music video where I remember being like, "Who is that one?" He's beautiful in it. My only complaint about this music video and this song in general is that the choreography is really good. I like it a lot, but 2PM is a 6-member group, and almost every single formation in my house has one of the they have a V with one of the members behind the point of the V. So you can't see one of the members for the entire fucking song. I hate it.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate it when groups do that.
We talked about in the Fantasy Boy episode, we said that's why you have to have uneven numbers because people get
Otherwise,
hidden.
People get hidden and it's stupid.
But yeah, I love my favorite part of the choreo that I had to write down is because they're saying let's go to my house. They turn over their shoulder and they hold their hand out
Yeah.
like they're
leading
gonna
you
lead
to
you.
their
It's so
house.
cute. Yeah. I love it.
This 5th album, I just want to, just a fun fact, 9 out of 12 of these songs were written by members.
Wow. See, yeah, they're like totally on it at this point. Okay. I can't believe we're like already here.
I know.
September 13th, 2015. So this was a few months later. They released Gentleman's Game. The lead single on that one was called Promise parentheses I'll Be.
Baby, I feel. Baby, I feel. 뭘 원하던지 뭘 바라던지 준비가 돼 있어. Baby, I feel.
What's that face? You're making a face.
This video just makes me very, it's hard to watch.
Because, I know we weren't. It's not fair.
Okay.
So anyway, this is their this was, and it was announced to me, which is again why we're so angry because in 2015 they said this is our last album and then we're all going to the military. That was 4 years ago. They could have been done by now. Okay.
This album is perfect.
Wow.
This album is so good. Everything about it is the best it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
The best 2PM has ever been is this album. And they didn't even promote it.
No, they didn't.
They performed Promise I'll Be once
Yep.
on a music show. Literally one time. They never promoted any other single off of this song. And I am just fucking bitter that I don't have a live performance of Make Love because how fucking dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you? And this music video,
It doesn't even look like they're all in. I don't think they were filmed the music video at the same time.
I don't think so either because they're all alone.
individual
Yeah,
but yeah, the music video, the album had like a chess piece theme, and this music video is like a chess game where they're in like 3 sets of couples where like one of the dudes has lost a girl to the other dude. So like Junkei's in bed with a girl and Chansung is fretting in a chair. Like that.
And then it cuts to like Chansung in bed with that same girl. But they're
then
like
someone else is sad about it.
but they're all shirtless and beautiful and
crying and throwing flowers off the roof. Oh, and also Taecyeon wears a shirt in the hot tub in the music video, which is weird.
that it is weird because 2PM is always shirtless and so is Tech. So like why?
I don't know why.
Why?
And I think I know you love
Who are
this,
we
but
pretending?
I thought the choreo to this song was weird. There was some weird.
I don't love the
Footwork
choreo
that
of
was
this
odd.
of this one. There is a dance practice for this song. The choreo is fine. It's like whatever. To be totally honest, this, in my opinion, is the weakest song off of the album.
Oh, yeah.
I think all the rest of the song. It's the first song on the album, and it just gets better from there. But this album is fantastic. That's not to say that I don't like this song. It's just, if I was going to pick a lead single, I would have picked something else.
Yeah.
But I listen to this album all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
It just feels like one of those sad bummers that we've like come to a couple times in these deep dive episodes where there's like a point where it's the end and you like don't know it's the end and people aren't treating it like. I feel like with Girls' Generation it was like people didn't treat the last song seriously enough.
Yeah.
And this felt like the same thing.
The
like
same
it just
way.
happened so fast. They didn't do any special promotion. They were just gone.
And they didn't
I
go
was
on
led
tour.
to believe that they were going to go straight to the military and they did not do that.
No,
They put out solo albums. They went to Japan and they went golfing a lot. And they like,
And in the meantime, I unfollowed Nick Kuhn because I became very bitter about it.
yeah,
Knowing now, like that just thinking now about that, because like I said, I listen to this album all the time. I listen to 2PM all the time. I love them. I miss them every day. And sitting here now in 2019 and thinking, wow, that album came out in 2015 makes my, it fills me with a burning rage.
Yeah. It's just
Furious.
Furious. But updates about the group wise, in 2018, their contracts expired and 5 of 6, so everyone but Taecyeon, re-signed with JYP and got made directors of external affairs. Like they now have, board positions at JYP because they've been there a really long time.
They're the most senior group.
Taecyeon signed with another label, 51K.
51K. Yeah, it's an exclusive contract with them, but they claim he will still promote with 2PM.
As we've said a couple of times now, this is like the
new
like
stance.
MO of everybody to be like, we're not breaking up the group. We could promote together anytime if we want, but we've yet to see anyone do it. So I remain skeptical, but I will say it made me happy that like last break Tech was on before he got released from the military. He posted on his Instagram like an unseen dance practice for like a Japan tour. And the caption was like, I miss my bros. I can't wait. Like it's going to be a long time before all of us are together again, but I hope that you hottest can wait. So like it seemed like he was, it didn't, I want to believe him if he says he's still in 2PM. I want to believe that.
I want to believe that too. And he's now out of the military. He's the only one who is out of the military. I actually think I've seen him like with Kun since he's been out.
Yes, he went to Kun's solo concerts.
Yeah. So he's definitely still keeping in touch with his members.
And Chen Sung came to visit him, or he came to his graduate whatever when he left the military
releasement
and again
ceremony.
The pictures just made me bitter because I was like, you should be in there. And he went the next week, but too late.
But now Tech is out, and like all of the rest of you motherfuckers still have like 2 goddamn years left. Juno and Chansung, I'm looking at you.
I know. Oh well. Whatever. Okay.
2 p.m.
So before let's keep these feelings together because we wanted to talk something out on the air. You brought this up last week and you said we need to talk about this, and I agree, and I haven't thought about it more because I wanted to just work it out with you on air. But we were trying to figure out why 2PM mean, like they've always meant a lot to us, but we don't like bias any of like,
none of them are a bias.
They don't take up the same space in our minds as other, and I don't know why.
Yeah, they definitely don't take up the same space in my like heart and mind as other groups do. However, I do they are one of the groups I listen to like a lot.
Yes.
And they're like in my top 5 favorite groups for sure.
Definitely. I have a 2PM Lightstick pin on my K-pop jacket that I love so much. Like I wear them very proudly.
2PM is on my bias shirt that you made me. Mm-hmm.
But I just like wonder, I don't know what it is. Like why have we not allowed ourselves to form the same attachments to the members? And I think something you brought up that, again, I was trying to not talk about this on this episode, but it's impossible not to, especially in the case of 2PM, which I feel like We Got Married colors a lot of it. I'm a We Got Married fan, and I know the members from that show.
Yes, same. That's how I became a 2PM fan, is that like once I started listening to K-pop and like I was watching or listening to like EXO and SHINee, and kind of that was it. Maybe I'd already found Spica. I don't know. I don't remember how I found them. But then you were like, oh, okay, if you want to get into this, like try watching We Got Married. And so that was how I didn't know anything about 2PM before I watched Kuntoria. And then I was like, okay, I'm willing to.
Right. And then even then, I feel like for a long time, it was just like Kun was the person I knew, but I like knew some of their songs. Mm-hmm. And then when Wooyoung went on We Got Married, I got very, very, very attached to him and his wife. And then I feel like that, like, I don't know. I feel like we were saying something in the car the other day about like, is it because like we formed attachments to them because they were forming attachments to other girls, and so we just love them as someone else's boyfriend?
Yes,
I don't know.
Because it's like, I absolutely, like if I had to pick a bias out of 2PM, I guess it would be Woo Young because
I think
he's
that's mine
certainly
too.
my favorite. I think
Yeah.
he's certainly my favorite. He's the one
I
like,
know
care
him the best.
I know him the best, and I like arguably care about him the most because I absolutely fell head over heels in love with him when he was on We Got Married, but in the sense that like I so deeply want him to really be married to Park Se-young. Like they're watching. That's what true love is. Their love was real. Their love was real, and you can see it in his eyes. And it's just like that is my most favorite season of We Got Married. That's my most favorite
Yeah.
couple. Their love is so beautiful, and I just like love them together. So maybe that is like I don't want to date Woo Young. I want him to. If he wasn't with Se-young, I'd be so sad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. So it's like I only like him in a very specific context.
yeah, but like they're all hot, and like what we love about them is that they are beefy and slutty and like those beast idols that we love in the rain. But like I don't know why.
Another thing that I also was sort of pondering today is that I wonder if it's just a JYP thing that we're like not quite used to, because I find myself feeling very similarly towards GOT7.
Yeah, that's
I
right. You
think
have
their
talked about
vibe
that
is
with
very
GOT7.
similar, and that I also feel like I can't pick a favorite from GOT7, and I don't really want to like bias stand anyone in GOT7 because I just love GOT7.
Yeah, like as
and
a
I
group.
watched some like real 2PMs today, and they were like dicking around in a music video shoot, and I was like, what is it about JYP groups? I feel like their vibe is just different.
You know what? I was trying to think about this because I was like, why don't I bias any of them because I love 2PM so much? And this isn't a perfect pinpoint of why, but I think that their vibe, similar to GOT7's vibe, reminds me of like the dumb hot jockey guys
Yeah, they're bro-y.
that I was friends with in high school and college. Like like we would always joke around in class, whatever, like friends, but not ever somebody that would like something romantic would happen between. If almost because I like would have thought they'd be too dumb to like even put anything like that together. I don't know. They're just like jocks.
Yeah, there's
Just like bro, like baseball bros.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I feel, because I feel like when I was getting into K-pop, I know I've described this to you before, but like that when I was watching We Got Married and I saw Key for the first time and he was wearing like a beret and a dangly earring. And I was like, oh my God, these androgynous boys. And I was like so fascinated by this like K-pop idol, this like kind of shiny, like pretty boy thing. And then 2PM just look like Abercrombie jocks. Like they just
bros.
look like bros.
Yeah.
Which I guess like sort of takes a bit of their like star power away. 'Cause like, look, they're just boys.
Maybe, but maybe also that's not like our type. I guess.
Maybe.
Like maybe that's why you have a hard time picking a bias in GOT7 is because like if you think about your bias, you have less of a clear type than I do.
Yeah. But they don't fit my type so well.
Those like biases that we have are not jockey bros.
Yeah. I don't know.
But damn
my
it, I
love for them is
2PM.
like deep.
It's deep
truly
and
do
pure
love them.
and real. I love them. I miss them every day. I know I've said that a lot, but I do.
Well, let's take a moment to relive like some joy that we do have, as we've done in the episodes, like in our deep dives where we have an attachment to the group. We have some B-sides to recommend that you may have missed. You want to go back and forth?
Sure.
So my first one is called I Can't.
I can't forget your love 언제까지라도 난
So this song is off of, it was on Still 2PM from 2010. And I love this song because this is like a very early track, but it's like, there is no auto-tune. It's just like mostly acoustic, and they all sing. I mean, I guess Tech never sings. He just raps, but still.
Whatever.
Still, it's just like a nice, cheesy song. And again, We Got Married memories. They sing it at Christmas to Victoria. So cute. I always have it in my heart, but I love that one. I can't.
It's pretty. It's pretty. I like the guitar.
What's your first B-side?
My first one is from the album Grown, and it is called Love Song.
These songs for you.
This is just such a pretty song. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They're fantastic singers. Don't get enough credit. And this is a good example of that. They have like pretty little high notes and nice little harmonies and layers in
Yeah,
it.
and I think that some of their like best tracks have like an old-timey feel, whether that's like all the way going back to like a swingy thing or like a kind of 70s vibe. And I don't know where I would categorize that one, but that song also, it feels like their later albums in its like style.
Absolutely. And their later albums, that retro style that like it hits on a lot of like older genres. It's my favorite. My favorite 2PM songs are like that.
Yeah. Okay, my next B-side is from Go Crazy, because like we said earlier, it is a perfect album. But
Well, I said Gentleman's Game is a perfect album, but Go Crazy is great.
I like Go Crazy probably more. I think Go Crazy is the one I would stand for, but I know Gentleman's Game is very important to you. I remember. So the song that I picked, I feel like I remember you saying that you didn't like this one.
You're right. I didn't like this is the one song on the album that I would skip. It has since grown on me.
This is the one that I would play the absolute loudest in my car, and it's called Like Tonight.
오늘 같은 밤을 그려왔어 한순간도 다 놓칠 순 없어 향기했던
Yeah, it's got that same 90s drum as Shiny one of one.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just like bouncy and fun, and I like there's a lot of xylophone in this album, like in general. I was learning how to play xylophone at the time. And I remember
There's a lot of
practicing
xylophone.
with some 2PM.
There's a lot of saxophone.
Yes.
And there's a lot of a good guitar. Like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
a little like riff.
Totally.
I remember the specific part of this song that that would make me groan. I think it's Tech who comes in and he's like, "It's a beautiful night."
Oh, beautiful night.
Yeah.
I
I was always just like, "Oh my goodness." But I like
just
that song.
like you and me, we're gonna be all right.
Yes, that part.
I knew it.
So cheesy.
I love it.
2 p.m.
I believe your next B-side is also from this album.
Yes, my next B-side is also from this album, and is a perfect example of that retro 2 p.m. because it starts with an amazing sax riff, and the song is so great. It's called "She's My Girl."
다가와줘요 You're my special Oh, you're my special girl
I love it too. The saxophone, like there's a real drama with that horn section.
Yes, I mean
it's like an Immortal Song.
Yes, it is. I mean, you don't in the clip we just played. You don't like hear the saxophone intro, obviously, because we played the end of it and not the beginning. But then the end comes in with that powerful trumpets and that little like dee 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 and the
Jazz chord.
Yes, 2 p.m. loves a jazzy instrumental, and this Go Crazy album had a ton of it, and so did Gentleman's Game, which is why I love both of these albums so much. I love you, 2 p.m. I can't say it often enough.
I bet if I pulled all the times that you've ever sighed and said, "I love you 2 p.m." or "I miss you 2 p.m." it would be like a pretty long, super good at this point.
episode in and of itself.
So my last B-side was actually on both of our lists.
Yes.
And I can't check it anymore because my phone won't sync to my computer. But for a very long time, this was the most played track on my iTunes by hundreds.
Yes.
And this song is called Pull and Pull.
So I just want you can always be together 내게 다가올 수 있게
I love this song so much that like thinking about it kind of makes me want to cry. And it's just like a sex song, but like I love this song so much.
I love this song so much. It was also on my favorite B-sides list. It is perhaps the sexiest song
ever made.
Certainly it's the sexiest song I own.
Yeah.
I love this song.
It's so good.
It's such a jam. Such a slow jam.
Yeah.
You just want to body roll to it.
Yes.
That's
and it
the
has
mark.
fun, like, whoop, whoop,
Yeah.
like drippy percussion. And it has that really good xylophone.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I love it. My last B-side recommendation is a very similar song, but it's off of their last album, Gentleman's Game, and this is called Make Love.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I can't control my feelings because of you. Oh yeah. You're so precious, oh my baby. 누구에게도 이렇게 빠져본 적이 없어. I wanna make love with you.
I love that song. Oh, I just broke this pen.
Oh my God. She was thinking about it so hard. She just snapped a pin in half like a Hulk. Oh my God. You really, really broke it. 2 p.m. Oh my God.
2 p.m.
Okay, on that note of sheer craziness, now that we have recommended some B-sides, I think it's time to end the episode with a music video viewing. And like we
Their
said,
dirtiest fuck jam ever.
82OY, which stands for All Day I Think About You.
I think about you.
And like we said, it's very, very sexy and it's very, very good. And I know we've told people to watch it like a million times. So if you want to
Now we're telling you again.
And now we're telling you again, if you want to sync up and watch it with us, you should. But I just think it's funny how often this song like still comes up in conversation when people are talking about sexy music videos or sexy choreo. Like this set a bar that I still don't believe it's been raised by anyone else.
No. XO be damned. You try, but
You
you have
wish.
not yet succeeded.
You wish.
You wish you could be as effortlessly sexual as 2 p.m.
All right, are we ready? Are we ready?
We're ready.
I know I've seen this music video 150 times, but I'm probably still not ready. I'm never ready.
We're always ready.
Okay, here it comes. If you want to watch it along, we're pressing play right now.
하루 종일 네 생각.
Oh my God.
Oh, straight off the bat, they're already in a lady's arms.
And it's black and like the black and white is so.
Woo Young's chest is so big.
Yes.
He's just like shirtless in bed.
And they all look, the black and white makes them all look really like tan.
Yeah.
가지고 싶어 만지고 싶어 빠져들어 deeper and deeper. 내 몸과
Just like sexily feeding each other things.
I feel like this music video, like it cuts between things like very, very quickly, but they're basically, they're on a stage and they're doing their dance in chairs. Mm-hmm. Or they're in a hallway with like a headless woman who's like, they're sitting and she's standing. So it's like her butt and boobs, but that's all. And then they're all in different states of like undress with the woman like in a tub, in a bed, in a kitchen.
Exactly. There's like 2 sets in which they're sitting in a chair, right? Like one is for the choreography and one is for the like the close up of the solo cam. This is the
It's so good. It's so good. Nothing is better.
Nothing is better. And then basically the storyline is that each one of them is going out with a woman. And then you realize by the end of the video that it is the same woman. The same woman is dating all of them and they don't know.
And she has like a snake tattoo or something, which is how we find out that she's
That it's the same
everyone's
woman.
girlfriend
Yeah.
or whatever. Oh, this tub stuff.
He looks so good in that shirt. They all look so good in this music video. Please help me!
Oh my God. The moves.
Just leaning back and snapping while they wiggle their toes.
Oh my God. She's straddling him on a couch. Like it's just so much. It's just so much. That
And
beanie,
that
that
fucking
lazy beanie.
beanie.
Eyes chest.
And his crazy
That hair's
cockatiel
too
hair,
tall.
it's too tall. But that fucking beanie and that his hair in that
In
bed.
the bed shot.
Oh
is
my
so
God.
good.
Junso's wearing these like terrible. I mean, Junho's wearing these like terrible long shorts, and he still looks fine.
He still looks so fine. And like a priesty collar, but
yeah,
still.
doesn't
so
matter.
Fine.
Ugh.
That hat is stupid. It's like
Yeah.
a leather daddy hat.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's real dumb.
Nick Hoon's wearing a terrible hat, but he does get pushed up against the stairwell in a very sexy way.
These moves, they're like so dramatic.
Yes. But that's my favorite,
It's
where they
like-
have their knees and legs together and they just sort of wiggle their knees back and forth. Oh, I love it. And they stand on the chair and they just snap. I think about you.
That's all I do.
I think about you. I think about.
I love this move. This one. Ah! They're so cool.
Oh, they're so sexy.
They're just like doing like big usher jumps in their
Yeah.
like leather pants in the background. Oh my God.
2 p.m. does contact.
Here's all the
in music
tattoo shots.
videos
Okay,
like
they're
no
all,
one
it's all her.
else. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
they don't do manner hands.
No
in
manner
their
hands,
music
no
videos.
fake. Like, I mean, there aren't usually kisses, but like people are
But
like
they-
undressed in bed. Like
Yeah.
they're not playing around.
They're not pretending, and they will like bury their face in her neck, and like it's very.
It's just very, okay.
It's just very.
It's
much,
just very
much a lot.
So that's ADTOI, the gold standard of sexy music videos. Everybody else try to catch up. 2 p.m. We love you. We miss you. And like, God damn it, Mino is going to be out of the military before 2 of them. Like, how have they done this to me? Okay. I'm so sorry for the anger in this episode, you guys. We are just so frustrated. We just need them back, clearly. Like, do you hear this? We're not, we need them.
I miss my grown men.
And they'll be even more grown if they just get out of the military.
Grown part 2, even growner. Growner than before.
I love it.
2 p.m.
Well, do you have any like specific recommendations
Yes,
or anything?
I do. First of all, I Googled We Got Married Too Young full English sub, and they are available on
No
little.
way.
Yeah. I found a blog post that has them all.
And they
I will
worked?
send you the link. Yes.
Oh my
they
God. Well,
do.
I have them on a hard drive.
Oh,
but for other
that hard
people-
drive saved?
Oh,
okay.
yes.
Good. Then just in general, like Google We Got Married Too Young, the number 2, and then the word young. Because it's Park Se-young and Woo Young. That was their couple name. Highly recommend literally all of those episodes because their love is real and true and beautiful. But my other recommendation was the My House Dance Practice eye contact version because it features Nick Hoon's jorts and Woo Young the son. And it's really beautiful. You just get to stare into their lovely, pretty, silly faces. And at the end, they're like goofy and they're cleaning and they're so cute.
I know. Don't cry. Okay, I have my recommendation. I don't know if it will be easy to find with the death of Drama Fever where Running Man used to live. I don't know if this episode is recent enough to have made it to the Vicky one, but there are other places to look. The point is, I wanted to recommend a specific episode of Running Man that is either episode 212 or 256, based on what you're looking at. I don't know why,
Okay.
but it's from July 2015. So that might help.
Okay.
All of 2 p.m. was on this episode, and the like shirts in every episode of Running Man, they like give everybody like the same shirt or to show their teams, and they have their little
They have their
Velcro
name
tag on the
tags
back.
And it's always a point of one game to rip name tags off.
Sure. And in this particular episode, they do like a seesaw game where they have to like jump and try to catch the name tag of the people on the seesaw. But whoever bought the shirts that week. Did not buy high quality shirts because like the first game they play, the entire back of Chen Sung's shirt gets like fully ripped off, like the whole back of his shirt. And then later in the episode, they play like a Red Rover-esque game in like a mud patty. All the shirts get ripped. Like just torn shirts, muddy 2 p.m. It's the best episode of Running Man ever. Can't recommend it highly enough.
That stylist knew exactly what they were doing. They went in there, they had like pre-laser cut, like
cut the back out so that it would rip. I just remember a specific shot of Woo Young in the front. The front of his shirt is torn like he's been attacked by a beast. And he just screams and he's like covered in mud. And it's so crazy.
Oh, I love it.
They're
I
the
love
best.
it. 2 p.m. I love you.
I love you too. And I hope
You.
so that we don't keep harping on the same point. We love them. We miss them. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that if you miss them, that you know you're not alone. And if you just now love them because of right now, welcome.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
Hopefully the wait won't be too long.
Yeah, maybe somebody's finding this episode like a year from now. Like, and then it will be like you almost have 2 p.m. back. So don't worry about it.
Maybe, but when you're listening to this episode, 2 p.m.'s full comeback is tomorrow. Congratulations.
Yeah. Future person, you're so lucky.
Hit us up because I guarantee you we're going to have a lot of feelings about it.
Yeah.
So can't wait to talk to you about that
Then.
2 p.m. comeback in the future.
But if you want to talk to us right now, you can find us on social media at AMA K-Pop Pod on Twitter and Instagram, amakpoppod@gmail.com for emails, amakpoppod.tumblr.com for links sometimes, and Ask Me About K-Pop, the podcast on YouTube. And I have to shout out now, we are going to do a movie club.
Yes.
Next week?
Next week, we are watching the Wonder Girls, speaking of 2 p.m., the Wonder Girls Nickelodeon movie, which is called...
I think it's just called The Wonder Girls.
Oh, okay. But the entire thing is on YouTube.
The entire thing is on YouTube, uploaded several different times, one full version, one in a couple parts. So unlike our last one, you won't have to spend any money to watch this. But also, like last time, if you want to watch this and submit comments or a review, please do so by Friday, June 28th.
Yes.
Or no, let's give you one more day. Saturday, June 29th.
Okay.
Yes, that will work out. So if you're hearing this episode on the day it comes out, you have 4 days to watch this movie and email us if you want to get your comments in. If you want to just watch it along with us, you have more time to wait than that. But just saying, if you want to get comments in,
yeah, if you
there's
have
a deadline.
if you'd like to hear your comments on the air, then send them in before or by Saturday, the 29th.
Yeah. So that should be fun. I have no idea I feel like I know what to expect, but I also don't know what to expect.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. So check back with us then. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye. Jonghyun, you're our inspiration. I hope I pulled a good clip. I'm sure I did. You're so precious, oh my baby. I'm sorry, I have to stop.
Making love. That's what he was about to say.